Welcome to Strength Over Passion. I'm Mike Rodriguez, and I'm the quarterback of this huddle. Most businesses are still closed. We're crawling through this coronavirus pandemic. It's a tough time. Like a lot of people, my hair's getting long and my belly's getting, well, you know. There has to be a better way, right? Millions of people have lost their jobs, and hopefully not you, but maybe. What can you do about it? Let me ask you a trivia question. Might bring some light to this situation here. When do you think more millionaires were made in America per capita, like per every 100 people, in the United States than any other time in U.S. economic history? I'll give you a hint. Not during the gold rush, not the Industrial Revolution, nothing to do with Silicon Valley. Ready? Here's the answer. During the Great Depression. Kind of shocking, right? Counterintuitive, but think about it. When something's down, something else has to be up. There's always opportunity when you look for it. So it's such a similar time when you think about the Great Depression and most things being down to where we are today. So how can you put yourself in the fast lane? I'll give you a hint here. It's not getting a good job. A good job is not good enough. It's typically not going to pay you enough. And number two, like we're finding out, a good job can get taken away. So what we have to do is we have to look for another way. How else can we put ourselves in a good situation to win? Because a job, if they're looking for a way to take you out, they don't need a pandemic to do it. Reminds me of a story. A dog's walking along and sees a help wanted sign, and the dog's thinking, I need to get me a job. And the help wanted sign says must have three things. Number one, on social media, must have a strong social presence. Number two, must be computer literate. And number three, must be bilingual. So the dog walks in and says, can I have the job? The guy says, no. He says, why not? Because you're a dog. And the dog says, but I'm qualified. The guy says, well, sorry, you have to have a strong social media presence. The dog says, look, I got 30,000 followers on Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, and cute dogs. The guy grimaces. He says, can I have the job? No, why not? Well, you have to be computer literate. Dog says, where's your computer? Dog gets on there, bangs out a computer program on the spot, writes the code. Can I have the job? No, why not? The guy says, well, you have to be bilingual. The dog looks at him and smiles and says, meow. I love that story. If they want to fire you or eliminate your position, they will. So I know some of you love your job, but why not have a spare tire, right? Just in case. You need to take ownership. You need to own your time and have equity in what you do and your talents or strengths. So I'll ask you, what's your side hustle? And you understand, you have to have an answer to that question. You know, it's in today's day and age, it's no longer a cool thing. It's not a good idea. It's a necessity. You have to have a side hustle. So I'll give you some options here. What I see is your four choices. And there's pros and cons to each, but I'll just kind of outline it for you, and then you decide which way is best for you. So number one, to take ownership in your time and have that equity, you can get into what's called the gig economy, right? There's so many options to that. The upside is it's very quick. There's very low barrier of entry. You could start within the next hour. The con to that is, you know, you're not going to make a ton of money with that. But again, you can control when you work, how often you work, that type of thing. Number two, your second option. Now, here's something that most people don't understand or realize is available. That's being an independent producer. So it's under the independent contractor title, but an independent producer represents a product or service, not as an employee, but has the ability to sell it. Now, just a handful of months ago, 6 months ago, most big companies would not be open to something like this because they're saying we have our own internal sales force. But with what's happening today, I think you're going to be pleasantly surprised if you approach some big companies that you enjoy their products or services and say, hey, I just want to be able to sell what you have. It costs them nothing. You know, they're going to have some requirements of some do's and don'ts, but company I launched, True North Energies, you know, we're kind of built on that independent producer mentality. So look into that. Think about what products and services do you enjoy and see if you can approach them about representing and being able to sell their product or service out there. Number three, In this climate, I'll tell you, network marketing is a very strong and viable option to look at. You can sell and make money, and of course the big opportunity is recruiting people, building a team, building a business. You can override that. I'll give you a couple of things to be aware of. Make sure you get with a reputable company if you're going to go the network marketing route, and make sure that it's a viable product, something that actually truly helps people and the price point is good. But if you do that, that's absolutely a way to make some money in this climate. And finally, number 4, the bottom line is start a business, a traditional business. You have the ultimate freedom with that. The downside is you have the ultimate freedom with that. It's not a franchise, it's not a business in a box, it's not network marketing where you have a mentor, that type of thing. It's probably the most amount of money and most amount of risk in that, but that might be an option for you. Once you kind of build a pile of cash through any one of those or any multiple of those, you then want to have what I call investment income. That's getting into either like rental property and or dividend income through investments. That's where you're having your money make money for you. But that's going to take a pile of cash to get started. So use the 4 to get there. So there's 3 giant takeaways I want you to walk away from this episode with. Huge. If you don't remember anything else, please, these are the 3. Number 1, get started right now. Don't overthink it. Don't overanalyze. Pick one of those 4 options and go right now. Because you can always change. You can adjust. You can't steer a parked car. You can turn the wheel all you want. Once you're rolling a little bit, it's very easy to move. Number 2, as soon as possible, what you want to do is get that side hustle into an area of strength of yours. So you don't have to start in your area of strength, but as soon as you can, put it into your area of strength so you can monetize it in a bigger way, and you know it can be a bigger thing for you down the line, maybe even your primary source of income. And finally, number 3, constantly be looking at how can I move this into a passive or recurring income situation. What that means is you want to have it where you do business once and you constantly get paid. So for example, I connected a large franchisee to a gig economy platform, and I get a check for that every month. Better yet, I get a check every month for financial services that I sold over 20 years ago. So that's where, again, you do business once, you sell something once, you build it once, and you keep getting money off of it. That's where you want to be. So teammates, pray about it, think about it. Maybe God has put you in this situation. Maybe he's closed some doors on you so that you'll be forced to go through the open door that he's prepared for you. So look at it in a positive way and move in that direction. It's time for you to win, because when you're passionate about your strength will give you everything you're passionate about.